I used to love being a door dasher, but after this horrifying event, I gave up on being a door dasher out of fear. This happened to me 2 years ago. I was working full-time at Walmart, but out of nowhere, my manager cut down my hours to part-time. I guess she wanted to save money. I guess being cheap and not wanting to pay workers overtime or something like that. I'm not too sure. But this wasn't good for me because my rent was $1,200 a month. And working part-time at Walmart is definitely not going to cut it for me to cover my rent or anything. So I decided to look at other opportunities for a second job while still keeping my part-time position at Walmart. My friend Jose recommended me to do DoorDash. Now, I did told him that I didn't really want to use my car because it was brand new and I didn't want to put a lot of miles on it. He told me that wasn't going to be a problem. See, 6 months prior, his father had passed away and he was giving his father's stuff away and selling some of his father's things, only keeping valuable stuff. My friend Jose sold me his father's old car for about $150. The car looked it pretty bad, but it still worked it. It would be perfect for me to do DoorDash with. A couple of weeks later, I applied for DoorDash and I started the next day. For the first couple of weeks, everything was good. I made my trips and deliveries. I was making good tip money. Everything was going good. But it was that horrific day that changed my whole entire experience being a DoorDasher. It was Halloween night, and I have gotten an order to pick up 108 burritos from Taco Bell. It was like a catering. There were 5 boxes. Each of those boxes hold 28 burritos in them. When I got the order and got in the car, I looked at my phone and I typed up the address. I was taken aback because this was an hour-and-a-half drive. It was out of the city and more on the countryside. But regardless, I had a job to do. So I started up my car and I started the trip. An hour and 30 minutes had passed and I made it to my destination. But I was taken aback. I saw the place where I was supposed to drop off the delivery, but the house looked abandoned and it didn't look like no one lived in there. But regardless of how I felt, I got out of the car anyway. I grabbed 2 out of 5 of the boxes of burritos. I wanted to take 2 of them to the front porch first. When I got to the front porch, I knocked on the door, but there was no response. I knocked again, and still there was no response. I tried calling the number that was on the account for the delivery. When I called, the phone went straight to voicemail. I tried calling one more time. The phone went straight to voicemail. I didn't know what was going on, and I was starting to get an uncomfortable feeling. So, since the individual already paid for the order, I just dropped 2 boxes of the burritos down by the porch. I went to my car and grabbed the other 3 and stacked them on top of the other 2. After that, I turned around and I was about to head to my car when all of a sudden I stopped dead in my track. My heart felt like it was beating 1,000 miles per hour. My breath felt like it was about to be cut off. I was trying to gasp for air because standing in front of me was a very large man. He had on a mask that resembled the character from Friday the 13th. The man just stood there by my car. Then slowly he smiled, giving away dirty yellow missing teeth. I didn't know what to do in this situation. I was thinking, should I try to run to my car and drive off? But no, I knew it wasn't going to work because if I got by my car, there's no telling what this man was going to do to me. So I saw an opening by the road and I ran. And to my horror, I heard footsteps running after me. I kept on running and running and running until I ran into a gas station. I ran into the gas station and I saw an older woman by the cash register. I told her what happened and she called 911. As she was calling 911, I turned around and to my horror, the man followed me into the store. The woman noticed him too, but this time the man had a giant axe. The woman shouted to him that she was armed and dangerous and the police were going to be here at any minute. She grabbed her gun and pointed it at the man. The man slowly lifted his hands up with the axe still in one of his hands, and he walked it backwards outside. He turned around and ran back to the direction of that abandoned house. 10 minutes had passed and the officers came. I told them about what happened and I rode with them to that abandoned house. When we got there, there was no sign of that man. But to my horror, I saw something. My car. It was all totaled. The front and the back windshield were broken and all 4 of my tires were slashed. After I gave them my statement and after everything had happened, I went home that evening. Later, I learned that no one lived in that abandoned house. I'm just thankful because what if I had made one wrong move? I would have been dead today. I am no longer a DoorDasher because I'm too scared and terrified. I decided to get another part-time job while still working in Walmart, and it's worked it out better for me. But I will never, ever go back to being a DoorDasher